For instance, the Prophet Muhammad preached to the Arabs. He preached for 13 years in Mecca. He and his handful of followers were persecuted by his enemies day in and day out. The severest persecution that could be possible was there. Then he migrated along with his followers to Medina, proclaiming to them, Lakum dinukum waliya deen. We want to stay in peace. Let you stay in peace here. I am going elsewhere. But they brought their armies to invade Medina. Once and twice and thrice and 4 times and 5 times. They did their utmost. And after all these persecutions, when the Prophet entered Mecca, and this fortress of the enemy was at his feet, and those who had committed the crimes of arson and loot and murder, those whom no international law and no civil law could ever forgive, when they were brought before him with their hands and feet in chains, he asked them, for these 22 years you have done to me and to my followers, which you know, what do you think I'll do to you? Today, that the power is in my hands, what do you think that I'll do to you? They appealed for mercy. They knew him, although they were his opponents. They knew him that he was the very personification of compassion and love and mercy. He said, yes. They said to him, thou art a good brother. This was the Arab idiom. It was an appeal for mercy. And the Prophet said, yes, I am. And consequently, I'll tell you the same thing which Joseph said to his brothers after all those tortures which they had perpetrated on him. I'll say the same thing, and I hereby proclaim, Izhabu antumut tulaqa. Go, all of you are free. La tasriba alaykum al-yawm. No punishment will be inflicted on you this day, that the power is in my hands, although you deserve punishment. La tasriba alaykum al-yawm. Yaghfirullahu lakum wa huwa arhamur rahimin. May God forgive you your sins, and He is the most merciful. Muslims, you are His followers. Are you behaving towards one another in that manner? Leave aside how you might be behaving towards the other communities. But I ask you here on this occasion of this farewell function, are you really behaving towards one another in that manner? And if you are not behaving, then how can you think that you can be considered by God as the followers of your leader? Remember, a criminal, a person who commits any immoral act, he cannot withstand the impact of the forces of moral integrity. If anyone is committing injustice against you, and if you can repel that evil with good, as Jesus Christ preached, if anyone smiteth thee on thy right cheek, present to him the left cheek also. This is the answer of evil with good. This is to meet the challenge of evil with good. And the same thing was concretely and also in words preached by the Holy Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, when he commanded in the verse of the Quran, idfa billati hi ahsan. La tastawi al-hasanatu wa as-sayyi'ah. Good and evil are not things of the same category. Light and darkness are not things of the same category. If you wish to fight darkness, then fight it with light and not with darkness. Therefore, always meet the challenge of evil with good. So whatever may be the evil with which you might be confronted as individuals and as community, I would say and I would emphasize let the good come from your side if you say that your neighbor is doing evil to you. The challenge of your moral integrity will kill any evil that might be there, and kill without shedding a drop of blood. My dear friends, of course the world is passing through a very big crisis. And the international situation is becoming more and more complicated. There are superpowers, and there are second-rate powers, and there are the backward nations, and there are the developing nations, and of course this human community is divided at different levels. But so far as I understand, all these troubles are there because the concept of truth, justice, and duty has been lost. Because all those great teachings which were given by the great masters of mankind, by the great teachers of mankind in different ages, they have been relegated to the background, and we have taken up only expediency. We have taken up only expediency. We want to follow expediency. And expediency runs only on shifting sands. It stands on shifting sands. It can never give anyone any stability. Therefore, my parting message with you, and my message for all time and from every quarter, will be to the Muslims and to all the rest: return to God. Return to God in the genuine sense of the word, in a genuine fashion, and obtain from there that light and that power whereby you might be able to dispel darkness. Otherwise, this darkness will continue wherever you find it, because materialism is progressing. It has laid its tentacles all over. Every facet of human life has now been covered by it. Perhaps it may not be too late. Perhaps the 11th hour has not yet come. And if we do not do it today, when the 11th hour comes, probably we may not be able to do it. Maybe that all this which is going on in this world under the impact of materialism may lead to a worldwide nuclear war or anything of that sort. And then, of course, the atom bomb and the hydrogen bomb will never see as to which race and to which community a person belongs. It is blind. God bless you all.